The United States and Venezuela are now closer to open conflict than at any point in the last decade. And tonight, a dramatic escalation at sea is raising alarms across the hemisphere. According to U.S. officials, American forces stormed a Venezuelan oil tanker in international waters, rappelling from helicopters in a coordinated raid involving the FBI, the Coast Guard, Homeland Security, and U.S. military units. The operation was captured in a short video released by Attorney General Pam Bondi. 45 seconds showing heavily armed operatives fast-roping onto the tanker's deck in what appears to be a high-risk maritime seizure. The White House later confirmed the action. President Donald Trump, speaking during his December 10th briefing, called the operation a major enforcement victory. He also hinted, without offering details, that more seizures are coming in the weeks ahead. But the consequences of this raid are already rippling far beyond the ship itself. Venezuela immediately denounced the action as international piracy. The Maduro government says it will take the matter before global institutions, accusing the U.S. of violating sovereignty, threatening global trade, and pushing the region toward an unnecessary war. Here's what we know about the ship at the center of this storm. U.S. officials say the tanker was carrying 1.8 million barrels of sanctioned Venezuelan crude headed toward Cuba and other undisclosed destinations. Satellite data reportedly shows the vessel also made a covert transfer of oil to a second tanker, the Panama-flagged Neptune 6, before American forces moved in. For the United States, this tanker was part of a widening crackdown on Venezuela's black market energy routes Washington argues help fund corruption, criminal networks, and hostile military buildup across the Caribbean. For Venezuela, however, this was a direct attack on its economy and on the Maduro government's ability to survive. The stakes became clearer after Guyana publicly stated that the seized tanker had falsely flown its national flag, adding yet another layer of geopolitical tension in a region already on edge. This tanker raid also sheds new light on a question many analysts have been asking. Is Trump's expanding military presence around Venezuela really about drug interdiction, or is it tied to oil? For months, U.S. warships, drones, and strike aircraft have been operating aggressively in the Caribbean. Officials framed these deployments as anti-drug missions, but tonight's events suggest something much larger and far more confrontational may be underway. Since September, U.S. forces have launched more than 20 strikes on vessels they say were linked to narcotics trafficking. These operations, while praised by some allies, have raised serious legal and ethical questions, particularly as some strikes happened in international waters and resulted in multiple fatalities. Experts warn that Washington may be pushing the limits of maritime law and that Venezuela, facing its own economic meltdown and political crisis, may feel cornered. Inside Venezuela, the government is already responding. Maduro has ordered naval units to reinforce defenses around critical ports, a move that has triggered fears of miscalculation. Analysts warn that one wrong move, one mistaken radar contact, one warning shot, one interception gone bad, could ignite a conflict neither nation claims to want. Meanwhile, global oil markets reacted immediately. Prices spiked within hours of Trump confirming the tanker's seizure. Traders worry that if U.S. forces begin targeting more Venezuelan oil shipments, the impact on global supply and global stability could be severe. But beyond the economics, this crisis is turning into a test of regional power, a test of whether the United States can enforce its sanctions regime without triggering a shooting war, and a test of whether Venezuela, already struggling under internal turmoil, can respond without escalating the confrontation. For now, both sides are locked in a dangerous cycle: U.S. raids at sea, Venezuelan accusations of piracy, and military buildup on both coasts. The hemisphere is watching. Latin American governments are uneasy, and tonight, one question hangs over every capital from Washington to Caracas. Is this the beginning of a new era of maritime enforcement, or the first step toward a war in the Caribbean?